Time has arrived. The Ways and Means Full Committee is starting. There is going to be a calendar change. We have some bills that are added. House Bill 965, 967, and 1056 have been added to the agenda today for a vote on for consideration by the full committee. With that, I'm going to ask Secretary Chuck Sims real quick. I've got two bills that are mine. I'm going to ask you to take the helm for a second so I can present as we start with these with the bills.
We're going to change procedure just a little bit. We're not going to do first readers till after Chairman Knight leaves. We'll do first readers at that time. We'll go ahead and handle the bills committee at this time. I'm on Representative Knight, if you will, please. This is not a first reader. This is for full committee vote. Yes. House Bill 808. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. House Bill 965.
965. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, as some of y'all will remember who are on the subcommittee, this was legislation that was brought to us by the Georgia Society of CPAs. And basically what we're trying to do is make sure that Georgia code in regards to estimated tax payments as it regards to estates, that we're following federal code. Under federal code, the IRS allows for a 2-year period before estimates are due. That's because these estates often take a long time for whoever the executor is to get a handle on the assets, get a feel for what the business activity is. They also have leniency under IRS guidelines to set year ends according to what best match the estate. And so what we've got here is we've got a got-you situation where the IRS, again, prepares, and these executors are not having to make estimated tax payments for federal purposes, but all of a sudden we've got this up under Georgia code that says you should have made estimated tax payments when they really don't have the whole estate set up and everything is going forward. So again, this was Georgia Society of CPAs that brought us this. We had Department of Revenue in that did not have any questions or concerns with this bill. So with that, I'll be happy to yield for questions. If not, I'll ask for your consideration.
Members of the committee, do we have any questions? Any questions? I don't see any questions, Chairman Knight. If I will entertain a motion this time. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to move too fast and a second. Move too fast. Second. Is there any discussion? Okay. What is the will of the committee? Please vote yes by indicating aye. All opposed, no. It is passed. You can head on to rules with that one.
All right. Thank you.
Next one on the list is House Bill 967. Representative Knight again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, this was the second issue that was brought to us by the Georgia Society of CPAs. This is clarifying language that under the Georgia Code, non-resident members' share of taxable income, when it's taxed, and I think currently right now they're saying when there's either a distribution paid or distribution credited. It's very convoluted. Basically, we're not changing any of the meaning of the regulations. We're simply saying that distributions paid, distribution credited but not paid, it's unnecessarily complex. And what we're trying to do is keep with the original intent of the statute, which is to tax Georgia-sourced income allocated to a non-resident owner, whether they get a distribution or not, or whether it's a flow-through, from a K-1, it's taxable. So there's one time to do it. And again, we're simply trying to simplify this. Again, Georgia Society brought this to us. We had comment or make sure that the Department of Revenue did not have any issues with this legislation. And we think this is a good technical correction that will allow for smoother compliance with our businesses and with our tax practitioners.
Thank you, Representative Knight. Do I have any questions from members of the committee at this time? Any questions? I'll entertain a motion this time. We got a move to pass in a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? You can carry that one on the rules.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Good luck.
Chairman. All right. Good luck. Are you saying I'm gonna need it?
No, I don't say you'll have too much trouble up there. I think most of your stuff will come out.
All right.
It's not like mine. It doesn't have much controversy.
Well, next on the agenda, my delegation, fellow delegation member and fellow representative from Spalding County, Representative Yates. Mr. Chairman, would you come up and present your bill? Your choice. Your choice.
I'll take it.
Totally and permanently disabled and receiving the pension are not taxed for the disability payments. With the passage of this bill, all members who are fully disabled and retired from the armed forces would also be exempt from Georgia's income taxes. Bottom part of the bill down there explains under the Veterans Affairs people what it means to be disabled in various degrees. That's the whole bill.
Mr. Yates, I'm going to have to take over. He's got to go to his committee. I'm going to take over as chair at this point, and so that David can go on to his committee. Do you have any questions, members of the committee? Chairman Rice?
Yeah. Chairman Yates?
Yes.
We heard this bill before when it was first read, and I thought, you remind me, that Chairman Martin, didn't he have a concern that there needed to be a or there needed to be an amendment to the bill?
We put 2 ors in it. Isn't that correct? Did we not put those 2 ors in there?
I don't.
Yeah, I didn't.
Let me look at the bill.
I didn't see that, but what?
Okay.
Yeah, I heard you mention that last time.
Let me
It's not in
put
the
this.
bill. Yeah.
All right, let me put it this way. Legislative Council said it would be superfluous, according to Jeremy. So we're it doesn't do anything to clarify. This is the federal code. It's just right out of federal code too.
That's fine. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
So
Thank
we did ask about that. We made a motion, but I think Legislative Council said it was just an add-on that we didn't need to do.
That's fine.
Any other questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion this time. Got a move to pass. Do we have a second? Got a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed? Mr. Yates, you can take it on the rules.
Thank you. Last time you said something about physical notice. Do I need a copy
No,
of
sir.
that? No? Okay. Thank you.
That's taken care of. Okay, next on the agenda will be Representative Battles. I believe you want to just do it from your desk?
If I might. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
This is House Bill 1056. Is that right?
It is. I
Okay.
pulled out the wrong one. Excuse me. It is 1056.
Okay. Go ahead and present your bill.
This is a bill that came to us as a recommendation from the Department of Revenue, and it's a good bill. And what this does is that this puts into code the section of the federal Service Members Civil Rights Act 50. And what this has to do is that any service individual that's here, whether it be in the Army, Navy, Marines, etc., or in the National Guard, they've been called up for 30 days or more, that if they happen to have some type of lien during that time, whether it be ad valorem tax, etc., they would be relieved of that responsibility until such time as they came back home and they could take care of this these taxes. And that's all this bill does.
This is on motor vehicles only. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. way you were stating that, it sounded like you're just going to waive all ad valorem, but
Well, I was going to see if you was going to pass or you was paying attention. No, not really.
okay. Just on motor vehicles,
Just
this
motor
is being
vehicles,
ad valorem
yes, ad
exemption on folks that are in the military service or have been deployed. Is that
Yes,
correct?
what had happened was that some, while had been deployed, their vehicles were being picked up. So this
Okay.
is just to protect them.
All right. Any members of the committee have any questions of Mr. Battles? I'll entertain a motion. Got a move, do pass. We have a second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Mr. Battles, you can carry that on to rules.
Thank you, sir.
Right. I would do that today. It's getting kind of crowded over there. All right. We're going to go on now to first readers. I'm going to designate Chairman Rice as my reader, if you will. First on the agenda will be, is Representative Taylor here? Okay. Will be Representative Taylor of the 79th, if you will. Please, Chairman Rice.
This is House Bill 1053 to amend Part 1, Article 1, Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Georgia Code of Georgia annotated relating to sales tax and use taxes so as to provide for sales tax exemptions for certain items on specified dates, provide for related matters, to provide for an effective date to repeal conflicting laws for other purposes.
Thank you, Chairman Rice. Mr. Representative Taylor, if you will come present your bill, we're going to place this in the Sales Tax Subcommittee. That will be Chairman Harbin.
Thanks, sir.
If you will present your bill briefly.
Yes, sir. Bringing before you HB 1053. Basically, this is the back-to-school sales tax holiday. This popular economic stimulus prior to the economic downturn. Basically, it designates 2 days in August at which sales tax for back-to-school items, clothing, computers, tablets, school supplies are not taxed. Creates economic stimulus for Georgia retailers, creates jobs, and most importantly, tax relief for Georgians. Second provision allows for Energy Star certified appliances in October. Also, one of the effects of this is the surrounding states all have this sales tax holiday, and a lot of our border cities like Columbus, Augusta, we're losing the retailers are losing sales to the neighboring states which do have this in place. There is a fiscal note attached. It's roughly $18 million, but the Washington Economic Group estimates that hit is offset by the $23 million it brings in, so it's a net gain of actually $5 million. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. And that's going to sales tax. That'd be Chairman Harbin.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Next on the list, Representative Williams, House Bill 1054. He's not here. Is anybody designated for him? All right, we're going to skip that one. That's Roger Williams, right? Okay. Has he got a committee meeting there? Does anybody want to do this for him? He's got industry up there. Can someone do this one? I hate for him to not have it first read and have to come back next week. Anybody know anything about this bill? Okay, all right. It's bad. It's bad that. Okay, we'll hold it. We'll just hold it over to next Tuesday. All right. Next on the list, Representative Dukes. Is he here, or his designee? I see you back there, classmate. All right. All right. Representative Dukes, House Bill 1055. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
House Bill 1055 to amend Code Section 48.83 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to exemptions from sales and use taxes, provide for an exemption with respect to aircraft used for spraying agricultural crops, provide for related matters, prove effective date, repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes.
Representative Dukes, this will be placed in the Sales Tax Subcommittee. That'd be Chairman Harbin.
Okay.
If you will, please present your bill.
Well, it's a rather simple bill. It just calls, as it says, calls for the tax exemption for aircraft carriers in the state. As you know, that the code provides many exemptions for sales and use tax exemptions for things that are associated with the agriculture industry. That includes products such as herbicides, fungicides, insecticides, and along with that, it's also seed, feed, fertilizers, and all other equipment and supplies that are related to the agriculture. The productions of the agriculture industry is tax exempt, with the exception of the aircraft carrier. And all it is a crop duster. But one of the things that is causing the problems that it's causing in our state is that we do have one manufacturer in the state that does produce crop dusters, and it is only Georgia farmers who are having to pay the sales tax that are associated with that. They sell one new aircraft per year and approximately 2 used ones. It accounts to probably about $60,000 impact on the revenue of the state. So if you would, I would appreciate favorable consideration from this committee.
Thank you. And again, that's going to sales tax. Chairman Harbin.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Representative Dukes. All right. Next on the agenda is House Bill 1062 by Representative Kaiser. If you'll come forward, if you will, Chairman Rice.
House Bill 1062 to amend Chapter 2, Title 48, Official Code of Georgia Annotated, relating to state administration and enforcement of taxation, so as to provide for an actuarial investigation and a legislative procedure for review and perfection of all bills proposing tax exemptions, to provide for related matters, provide for an effective date to repeal conflicting laws and other purposes.
Thank you, Chairman Rice. Representative Kaiser, if you will.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to tell you where you're going. You're going to Tax Reform Subcommittee. I apologize. And that will be Representative Battles. He is the chairman of Tax Reform.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and gentlemen of the committee. House Bill 1062, it would really just sort of bring our tax exemption bills into the same parity as we treat our retirement bills. So it would allow for those bills to be brought forth, but to sit for the first year of the session and not be considered until the second year. But within that time frame, the first year, you would, if it's voted on favorably by the committee, it would be required to be sent to the state auditor for a actuarial study.
This is an interesting bill. Do you have any questions of the members of the committee, Representative Kaiser? All right. This will be going to tax reform. Okay. Representative Battles, you need to check with him about getting the subcommittee hearing on it.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'd like to hear that one myself. Okay. I'm going to have to give up the chair, if you will. And Representative Battles, if you'll read, it's my bill, House Bill 1104.
1104. Indian Code Section 4883 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to exemption from sales and use tax as provided, an exemption of raffles conducted by a certain nonprofit organization, to provide for the related matters, to provide for an effective date, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes.
Mr. Chairman Sims, you want to read tell us about your bill?
Can I do it from here?
Sure.
Okay. This basically, let me try to explain to you what this is. Right now, the gaming laws of Georgia, there's a gaming law as far as a game of chance that the sales tax has to be placed on tickets. We ran into this with my local Lions Club this year. We raised about $70,000 for eyesight and for blindness and for eyeglasses in my region with a raffle that we do every year called the Big Buck Contest. We ended up having to pay sales tax on the ticket sales. We didn't realize that we were having to do it, and they did an audit for us, and we gladly wrote the check. But these proceeds, all of this does not go to any kind of administrative cost. They don't go to pay anybody's salary. They don't do anything. And what they do is we take all these funds and buy eyeglasses and eye surgery for people that can't afford them or are in need, especially for children and those folks that are indigent or in the nursing homes and those kind of things. We also buy hearing aids and hearing apparatus. We've also bought these televisions that are big screen that they actually, look at things under sort of it's almost like a microscope, brings them up very, very big for them. So we've done that for folks with eye trouble. We're just wanting to exempt these tickets when we sell them. If it's a 501(c) organization, such as our club is, this would be for any club that would do it. They have to be designated a 501(c), and these club, the monies would have to be for 100% or 90%, I think. Did he put that in there? No. He didn't put that in there. I'd ask him to put that in. We'll try to put that in. It has to be 90% above those funds that have to be used or distributed for charity work. But I'll do that committee.
Representative Chairman Sims, that's going to go to the Sales Tax Subcommittee. Any questions for the Chairman?
Sure.
Yes. The Chairman.
Yes, we wrote a sales tax check out of the proceeds that we would have gone. those would have gone to buy glasses for somebody, but we had to pay the state and, of course, the sales tax. And again, we were told we had to do it. We gladly did it, but we just felt like that this money was really just for charity work. We didn't think that the state, because the other charitable organizations in the state aren't taxed to that.
Any questions for Chairman Sims? Well, with that, Chairman Sims, I'll turn it back to you, and I think we got an adjournment.
I think we are. I think we've lost a quorum. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen of the committee, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We stand adjourned.